On this episode of the Globe Sports Corner, we get a first-hand view of what a game day looks like for a softball athlete at GC. The U.S. Highway 20 Cup could come home to Goshen for the first time in its existence, plus an update on the track and field season. We sit down with Lehman to discuss a recent decision by the NAIA that essentially bans transgender athletes from competition. And as always, we take a look at the Everence Student Athlete of the Week, the highlight of the week, and the Maple Leaf Minute. All of that is coming up in the Globe Sports Corner. Inside the Globe Television studios on the campus of Goshen College, my name is Dante, Stanton. Welcome to this semester's final edition of the Globe Sports Corner. We've got a great show planned with lots to cover, so let's dive right in. Now, typically, we get to bring you coverage of our GC athletics while they're on the field, but there is a lot of preparation that takes place behind the scenes before we get to see everybody in action. With a special look at one of those full days of prep, it's our own sports reporter, Liliana Herrera.
The life of a student athlete at Goshen College, filled with missed classes, daily workouts, and the necessary balance of academics and athletics. Grace Schmidt, a junior pitcher and infielder for the softball team, is a prime example of what a student athlete represents. She begins her pregame routine the night before, studying the scout for the other team.
So the night before the game, I really like to just go over the scout that our coach sends us, just so we can kind of give an idea of the players that we're going up against, what the pitching is like. Since I'm a pitcher, I like to look at like the tendencies of some of the hitters so that I can just like have somewhat of a game plan going in before the game.
After a good night's rest, Schmidt prepares for game day travel, starting in the locker room.
I tend to get a little bit nervous before games, so I like to sit here in my locker. I usually listen to music, kind of talk to some of my teammates, and I really don't like to think about the game too much until it's like I'm on the bus.
The game arrives and Schmidt is on the bus and headed to the field. And after a routine warm-up of stretching, throwing, hitting, and some grounders, the game ensues. Schmidt played first base during the second game and contributed to the win with the hit. After 7 hours of traveling and on the field, Schmidt is on the bus, traveling back home, and finally gets to unwind.
I still like to take time for myself. I like to reflect on the games and kind of what happened throughout them. I keep like a little journal of what happened during them, just so that I can help myself better prepare for the next time we play them.
Reporting for Globe Sports, I'm Liliana Herrera.
A big thank you to Grace for letting us get the inside scoop on what a full day looks like for the athletes here at GC. Of course, best of luck the rest of the season. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to a recent decision affecting transgender athletes at the NAIA level. More coming up on the Globe Sports Corner.
Do you dream of a place to belong, to begin your journey, and to believe in something bigger than yourself? A place where you aren't lost in the crowd, but are part of the team. Communication professionals are in high demand, and Goshen College will give you the tools and hands-on experience to transform your passions into a rewarding career. Begin your career in journalism and be an agent of change at the best college newspaper in the state of Indiana, The Record. Begin a filmmaking career with 5 Core Media and work on Emmy-winning productions that propel graduates to Hollywood and beyond. And take our Semester in LA program to get a jump start in the industry. Begin your career as a public relations major, one of the fastest growing professions in the country. Begin a rewarding broadcasting career on the air at 91.1 The Globe, the best college radio station in the nation. Be a DJ, host TV shows, and broadcast live sports. Believe in yourself and make it possible at Goshen College.
Inside the Globe studios on the campus of Goshen College, my name is Dante Stanton, joined now by Lehman, professor of kinesiology here at GC. Thank you so much for joining us here in the studios.
Sure, thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming in. We brought you into the studio today to talk about the recent decision by the NAIA that would essentially ban transgender athletes from women's sports. The new policy states that any athlete can participate in NAIA-sponsored male sports, but only athletes whose biological sex assigned at birth is female and who have not begun hormone therapy, and they will not be allowed to participate in women's sports. Now, the first thing I want to ask here is what are the implications of this new policy for Goshen College?
Well, as a member of the NAIA, we'll be expected to uphold the policy. The NAIA values self-reporting by institutions if there's a violation. So if we realize there's a violation, we'll have to self-report. Other NAIA institutions that suspect a violation can contact our athletic director, and that also would go to the NAIA. So, if we violate the policy, then it would go to an ethics committee, and possibly probation or suspension. So, otherwise, we would just be expected to comply. Yep.
As the on-campus faculty advisor for the advocates here on campus, what's been the response from the campus community so far to this new policy?
Well, it's surprised many of us, and so a lot of people on campus are upset about it. The advocates group disagrees with the policy, and so we've been meeting to talk about that. There are some people on campus that also agree with the policy, so it's led to a lot of conversation already. But the advocates leaders are talking, and they've collected some statements from other students at the dining hall, and have a lot of those students have been from other leadership committees, and we've had support from faculty in the social work department and public health, and the students have talked to others in the prevention intervention network on campus as well. So there's just a lot of conversation about it, because it is upsetting to a lot of people on campus.
Would you say you're encouraged by that conversation? Are you continuing to encourage that conversation to happen?
Yes, I think it's been really good conversation, and the advocates will be working with and talking to administration about what they're actually presenting those statements and presenting some of their ideas as well to administration.
Now, looking forward, do you see any potential change or shift in this policy in light of the responses, some of which have been negative, to colleges and universities throughout the NAIA?
Yeah. It's a very new policy. It was just adopted here in April. So I haven't seen any shifting yet. The NCAA came out with a statement about their response, and they're going to continue with their policy, which is different now. And so I haven't seen any shifting in the NAIA. I'm not in the conversation circles of leadership within NAIA schools, so I don't. I basically don't know what they're talking about at this point since it's so new. Yep.
Now, you mentioned the NCAA a little bit. Do you see any of this potentially having an impact on the NCAA? It was a 20-0 vote. It was unanimous for this policy to be passed. Is this the first stepping stone for the NCAA to institute a policy like this, in your own opinion?
Yeah, I really don't think so. The NCAA responded within 24 hours. I think with a statement to Newsweek stating their commitment to women's sports, and also their desire to make sure that trans women, trans athletes have a fair and safe place to compete. They have, the NCAA has followed the International Olympic Committee policies more so, and has been basically basing their policies off of the IOC. And that's based on research, and it seems to be working well. The first trans athletes have participated in the Olympics now, and so I don't see the NCAA making any changes in their current policy. They have made modifications in their policy. I don't see them adopting a policy that the NAIA has. The NCAA is bigger and more powerful, and they're following the IOC.
Now, you mentioned that as the faculty advisor of the advocates that your group doesn't agree with this new policy, of course.
Yep.
In your own opinion, what should be different about it? I mean, should this policy have not been instituted at all, or in your own opinion,
Yep.
this should not have been instituted at all, or you recommend changes to the policy that was made?
I align much more with what the International Olympic Committee and the NCAA are doing in relation to trans athletes. And so the NAIA was in line with those policies, was following those policies, and so this is a deviation. And so I don't think there's a need to change the policy that they had previously. I would have left it the same. Yeah.
Okay, well, Jewel, thank you very much for joining us here in the studios today. Appreciate you stopping by. Obviously, sometimes a difficult topic to broach, but we appreciate you coming in and breaking it down for us.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Up next, US 20 Highway Cup. Well, it's been out of reach for the Goshen College Maple Leaf since its inception, but this year, that could change. That and more is next on the Globe Sports Corner.
Last week, the Goshen College softball team went to Bethel University and swept their doubleheader, winning both games 8-4. This completed the season sweep and earned another full point in the U.S. Highway 20 Cup rivalry. Now, if both the men's and women's outdoor track and field teams finish higher than Bethel at Outdoor Conference, it'll give Goshen their first ever Highway 20 Cup win in its 5-year history. But track isn't thinking about things like that.
There isn't nothing going on that. Like, we just want to be the best. Whether it's Bethel, Indiana Tech, whoever is in front of us, we try to beat it.
In addition to the Cup, the track and field teams have undergone some coaching changes recently, with head coach Sean Folk stepping down for personal reasons. Rustin Nice, the cross-country coach, has stepped into the role.
They've been really resilient about that. Some of the event areas, throws especially, has wondered how we're going to handle it, but Coach Jacob has done a really good job at just kind of taking care and stepping up into that role. But really, we're planning the meet logistics, getting to the competitions, and doing all we need to do. So they just want a chance to compete, and we've given them the chance to compete, so they're doing great with it.
I think it's hard because you are never prepared to do that. However, we got a good team and everybody's supporting each other, so I think that makes it easier.
It's been hard for everybody because, like you said, it was mid-season instead of staying all the way to the end. And so, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of for the best because we got somebody that's stepping up and know how to handle it a lot better.
Reporting for Globe Sports, I'm Tyson Miller.
Thanks to Tyson for the strong reporting there. According to GoLeafs.net, the next time these two teams will be going head-to-head is May 3rd, when the men's and women's outdoor track and field teams compete at the Crossroads League Championships. Each category is, again, worth 1 point, so with Goshen behind 1.5 points right now, the first win in the history of the series is very much within reach. Speaking of track and field, the women's squad took down 3 school records this week at the We Fly Ball State Challenge. Annika Alderfer-Fisher broke her own record in the 800 meters while also hitting the B standard in the national qualifiers. Willow Caneda put her name in the record book with a discus throw of 41.73 meters, shattering a record held since 2009. And finally, Maria Maldonado broke her own record in the 100-meter dash with a time of 12.04 seconds. Congrats to the entire team and good luck with Little State Championships right around the corner. We hope to see more records broken as this season goes along. Now a breakdown of our latest Everence Student Athlete of the Week. Allison Catenacci, a senior for the GC softball team. In this past week alone, Catenacci hit 4 home runs, all of which were her first of the season. She's now tied for the team lead in homers and finished this past week with 10 RBIs and 8 runs. Great work, Allison. Keep it up with the end of the regular season right around the corner. On the way, we'll hit our best play of the past week for the Maple Leaf Athletics with the Globe highlight of the week. And check out the Maple Leaf Minute for a preview of this week. Stick around. This is the Globe Sports Corner.
So you just graduated from Goshen College? What experiences prepared you for this job?
Where do I begin?
The 1-1 pitch to Chase. Swung on, hit well. Deep right field. And that ball's going. It's gone! A home run, Maple Leaf win! Chase Smith, 2 for 2, 2 home runs. And the Maple Leafs walk it off in the 10th, 6-5. The freshman putting on a hitting clinic against the Foresters.
That was Alyssa McDonald on the call, and an exciting matchup between the Maple Leafs. They won their game there against the Huntington Foresters in a walk-off fashion. Now, Seth Smith Kauffman going to join us in the studio for a quick check of the upcoming week in Maple Leaf athletics. Seth, take it away.
Thanks, Dante. Lots of sports action this weekend, so let's dive right in. Tomorrow, baseball and softball both play Mount Vernon Nazarene University at home. They will play back-to-back games with baseball starting at 2 p.m. and softball at 3. Also tomorrow, track and field heads to the Indiana Little State Championships in Marion. Events start in the morning and run all day. This meet is also continued into Saturday. Finally, baseball continues their series with Mount Vernon Nazarene playing 2 games on Saturday starting at noon. Softball also plays Saturday with 2 games against Grace College starting at 1 p.m. Saturday will also be senior night for baseball and softball, so come out and show support for our seniors. Back to you, Dante, and go Leafs.
Thanks, Seth, for giving us a lowdown on all things GC athletics. That's going to do it for this last episode of the Globe Sports Corner. Make sure to follow us on our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, X, and the Globe Radio app, all at 91.1 The Globe. Also, check out our website, globeradio.org. That's it for this final episode of the Globe Sports Corner. Having started here with Globe TV nearly 4 years ago now, I've had a blast watching this show grow into what it is today. Now, as a senior, I'm very comfortable knowing the staff sticking around this next year is going to continue taking Globe Sports to the next level. The Globe Sports Corner was one of the first television pieces I was a part of here at GC, and I'm so proud of the crew that's going to continue providing you exclusive coverage of Maple Leaf athletics. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the fall. Studios in Goshen. My name is Dante Stanton. This is our first Globe Sports Corner of the year. We are excited to bring you Goshen College athletics in our new studio. That's all for us here on the Globe Sports Corner. Check out our social media pages at 91.1 The Globe on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can also check out the new content posted weekly on our website at globeradio.org. This has been your Globe Sports Corner. Until next time, I'm Dante Stanton.